What's cracking, everybody? It's Justin Howland, and I'm here with a different type of video. It's a what-if video. What if I had booked WrestleMania 30? Or how would I have booked it? I would have done a lot of things differently, but I would have kept some of the matches the same because I thought some of those matches were good matches. WrestleMania 30 is a WrestleMania that I will not watch. Just because I won't watch it. Because, one, my favorite wrestler loses the streak, and I know there's a bunch of feel-good moments in there, but it's just not a great WrestleMania for a lot of people. So, how would I book it differently? Well, so the intro to WrestleMania, I would keep that the same. I would keep Hogan, Austin, and The Rock in the ring at the same time. I would keep that moment in there because that was a good, real good moment. First match of the night. It would have to be, it wouldn't be Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. It would actually be the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And I would keep that match the same because I loved every minute. I personally love Cesaro winning it. So put Cesaro over and give him that win. So Cesaro wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The match is the same. It's just the first match of the night. Second match would be Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. Winner faces Randy Orton in the main event. Not Randy Orton and Batista. I'll tell you why later on in the night. Later on in this video. So Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. Keep that match the same as well. I thought that was a great match. Second match for the tag team titles. And I would keep the tag team champions, the New Age Outlaws at this point. I would keep them as the tag team champions. And I would have them face Cody Rhodes and Goldust again in a rematch. Because I know that would be great. That would be great. Just put them in mid-card, like a mid-card match. Mid-card tag team title match. And I would have Cody Rhodes and Goldust win. And I would have them, win that match because I think those guys would have been greatest tag team champions, personally. I thought they were great. Okay. So the next match would be a 6-man tag team match. The Shield versus the Wyatt. So this is how this story goes. I would have, the Shield actually. I would have the Shield in the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I would have that match. I would have that. I would have Randy Orton, Christian, and John Cena versus Randy Orton, Christian, John Cena, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. I would have that in there. During that match, the whole Wyatt thing goes off. And afterwards, you see the Wyatts in the ring. And lights come back, lights go out, lights come back on. You see Ray, Rowan, and Harper in the ring. And they destroy the Shield in that match. While Randy, John, and Christian are down. I would have those guys beat them down, and have them laid out. Lights go out again. Lights come back on. Randy is covering Dean Ambrose. Cena's covering Roman Reigns, and Christian is covering Seth Rollins. 1, 2, 3. The Shield are gone in one clean sweep, thanks to the Wyatts. I know the match happened at the Elimination Chamber, and I know it was good, but it needs to be the WrestleMania match. And honestly, I would actually have the Wyatts win the match. I would actually have the Wyatts win the match at WrestleMania. Personally, I think that would have been a great idea. Okay, so we've had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, New Age Outlaws versus Cody Rhodes and Goldust, and the Shield versus the Wyatts. Now, the 5th match. We're going into the Intercontinental Championship. And the Intercontinental Champion at this time. Hold on. Who was the Intercontinental Champion at the time? God damn it. Okay, so Intercontinental Championship match, I would actually have The Miz as the Intercontinental Champion. And as opponent, I would actually have Miz do an Intercontinental Championship Open Challenge match at WrestleMania. And there's a lot of speculation on who it's going to be. So for The Miz, I would actually pick Christian for this match. Because personally, I think Christian versus Miz would be a great match either way, because you got Christian in the ring and you got The Miz. Christian never really truly retired, so I would actually have this as Christian's retirement match. No, not an open challenge. You know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do an open challenge. I would put it as Christian's retirement. But I would do it as, you know, but I would play it off from this. So at the Elimination Chamber, he's still a part of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. So during the match, after, you know, the whole Shield get eliminated, I would have Christian fly off, go up to the top of the cage, go up to like the top of a pod, and aim for Randy Orton, for a crossbody on Randy Orton. But it's unsuccessful, misses, and lands on the mat, and he's writhing, and he land, and I want him to jump off and land like he's hit hard. And everyone's like, oh no, oh, that's not good. Then Randy Orton gets him up, RKO's him. 1, 2, 3. Christian's out of there. So the following night after the Elimination Chamber, Christian comes out and announces that he has hurt himself, that the doctors are telling him that I think it's time for you to hang up the boots, and we will clear you for one more match at WrestleMania, but after that you have to end your career. And Christian wants to go out on top, and he wants to go out with one last championship match. So Christian decides to challenge The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. And Miz gladly accepts. There's these whole night, the weeks progress, and there's this whole tribute to Christian, retrospectives on Christian's career. So match is going on, WrestleMania 30, and I would actually have The Miz win, but after the match I'd have Christian get up, shake The Miz's hand, and kind of pass the torch to The Miz. And then, have his little moment at WrestleMania, because it will be his last match. And honestly, I think that's a perfect way for Christian to go out, is one last fight, one more match at WrestleMania. Okay, so that was the 5th match, I believe. No, wait. Andre the Giant, Triple H and Daniel Bryan, New Age Outlaws versus Cody and Goldust, Shield versus Wyatt's, Miz versus Christian. Okay. So after that, we have the United States Championship match, and it's not Dean Ambrose. So here's how this happens. Here's why. I would have Dean Ambrose lose the... So, above the whole Wyatt's and Shield thing, I would actually have the Authority make Dean Ambrose defend the United States Championship in a Battle Royal like they did on Raw, but it was after WrestleMania when they did it. I would actually have him do it beforehand so that the Wyatts can screw Dean Ambrose out of the United States Championship. And I would actually have Sheamus win it like he did in real life. So then I would have Sheamus defend the United States Championship, and I would actually have him defend it in a triple threat match. It would be Sheamus defending the United States Championship against Jack Swagger and Santino Marella. And it's going to be an elimination match. So then, of course, Jack Swagger being hot, we the people. And Sheamus, being fella. I would have them destroy Santino in that match. Bro kick, gut-wrench powerbomb, 1, 2, 3, he's out. So then it's just one-on-one, him and Jack Swagger. And I would have Sheamus retain the title. Now we're going to go on to the Divas Championship. We're going to do the whole, Divas O Championship Open thing that Vicky Guerrero did in that event, and keep it like that. Now we're getting into the big matches. So here's why I didn't want Dave Bautista as a part of the World Championship match. I wanted him to actually have a no holds barred match between him and Brock Lesnar. Now the way this match is set up. So Dave comes to the WWE, and I would actually have him turn heel immediately, saying how, he's pissed off that what are all these small guys doing winning championships, and, what happened to all the real men, like he did in real life only after the Royal Rumble match. So, let's piss him off, and let's give him, a match, the Royal Rumble match, but we're not going to give him the win. That was going to be Daniel Bryan's win. Daniel Bryan's going to win the Royal Rumble like he should have done in 2014. Like what they should have done in 2014. Dave Bautista gets pissed and wants to face someone at WrestleMania. He wants a real man. He wants a man who could give him a challenge, not these small dudes that are running around. And then we hear, win 'em. Out comes Brock Lesnar. And he goes, finally, a real challenge. Dave will then slap Brock Lesnar, and then Brock will hit Dave Bautista with an F5. Triple H will then make the match no holds barred because he knows that these guys are going to murder each other at WrestleMania. So during that match, I would actually have that match to be no holds barred, and they beat the shit out of each other. And I would actually have Brock Lesnar hit 2 F5s, and I would actually have, Dave Bautista during the match hit 2 Batista bombs, actually 3 Batista bombs, and Brock Lesnar kick out of all 3, just to show how much of a monster he is. And I would actually have Dave Bautista lose to one F5, because at this point people were just pissed off at Dave. They just didn't want Dave there. So I would have Dave lose to 1 F5, 1, 2, 3, done. Now let's get to the semi-main event, the Undertaker match. Now there were ways that I could have booked this match, but personally, everyone was talking about having John Cena face The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone wanted it to happen, because honestly, it was just like, let's just see it happen. I see John Cena get his ass kicked. Now, some people wanted John Cena to actually win the match so he could turn heel. Honestly, I would not have done that because it just would not have worked. Now, the way What Culture and Adam Blampier booked it, the ending of the streak with John Cena, okay, fine, that would have worked personally, because I think that would have worked personally because that was the best possible way to do it. But actually, I would actually have it kind of like WrestleMania 34, where Undertaker came back and faced Cena, but I would actually have it longer, and I would hope the Undertaker doesn't receive a concussion during the match, but things like that just happen. But I would actually have Undertaker win and walk away 22-0, so that the next year he could possibly lose the streak to Sting. Okay, main event. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan. Story writes itself. The whole rivalry in 2013, the WWE Championship matches, the screw jobs, the Royal Rumble win, the match with Triple H, culminates in this match. WrestleMania 30, main event, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, no Batista. And honestly, I would have kept the finish the same. Daniel Bryan submitting Randy Orton to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And that is how I would book WrestleMania 30. Leave a comment down below if you agree. Or if you disagree, say how you would have done it differently. But that is how I personally would have booked WrestleMania 30. Thank you. Peace out. Bullet Club is for life.